Traditionally speaking, the master or the owner in the parable represents Yahweh. The vineyard represents the people of Israel. The tenants represents those who were sent by Yahweh as prophets, judges, and patriarchs. The Son represents Christ Jesus himself. Other tenants represents perhaps the church which was established by Jesus. In that scenario, we can understand the way by which Jesus places this particular parable of the vineyard in and through the hearing of the religious leaders of his time, the Pharisees, scribes, and the Sadducees. In retrospective, when we look at the Old Testament, we see in many ways Yahweh, the God of the Israelites, and our God sent people, especially patriarchs, judges, and prophets, to bring them closer to Yahweh. Time and again, Israelites fell into sin, and yet God showed his merciful nature and thereby forgave their sins. And in the fullness of time, God sent his Son Jesus so that the humanity will be restored back to Yahweh, that they will be redeemed and saved by his very personal touch with the people. The four Gospels are a pointer to us how Jesus began his ministry in a small village, Galilee, and thereby sprouted, so to say, his ministry in the surrounding areas of the Decapolis. In the process, we see the Pharisees, scribes, and the Sadducees up in arms in a way to search for some faults, errors, and mistakes in the teaching and healing of Jesus. In many instances, Jesus indirectly reprimanded their hypocrisy, at times chastised them, but they were hard of hearing and also willing to change themselves. Jesus manifests himself to them day in and day out, both in the synagogue and in the open spaces, whereby he spoke about God's love, about the way by which they could bring change in themselves and thereby welcome Messiah who is in their midst. However, we see how these religious leaders failed to understand and comprehend the ministry of Jesus. They were blinded by their prejudices and biases. And in that context, Jesus in a way makes them to understand that the vineyard representing the people of Israel are at your disposal and you have not been able to handle them. You have been using your laws and regulations but not applying or practicing in their own lives. And in their midst, when he is there, they have not accepted him who is above laws and regulations. In and through the gospel, especially the parable, Jesus invited them to a change of heart and mind, a metanoia that will help them to embrace God's plan and God's will in their life. In our own context, as we are in the season of Lent, the parable is an invitation for us because each of us are tenants and each of us are called to produce good fruit and thereby give glory to God. And perhaps a question that we can ask ourselves, am I a good tenant of God? Through my words, deeds, and actions, do I manifest Christ's values and virtues to others? If we have failed in some way or the other, we ask the Lord Jesus to grant us the graces that we need, especially the great grace of openness and generosity, that we may be open and generous to receive God's benevolence and goodness in our life, and thereby make this Lenten season as a moment, occasion, and a pointer to bring change in our lives.